Most of you suck at Minecraft PvP. Let me explain. Ever since the 1.9 update, also known as the absolute suck-ass update, it changed Minecraft combat forever. Like, no shit. It's literally the combat update. Like, the... But while all of you were praising your stone axes and shitting on diamond swords for being seemingly useless, there was a new PvP tool hiding right under our noses. And it wasn't even part of 1.9 combat update, but it was part of 1.9 end update, because the two are like merged together. Okay, I'll cut the bullshit. I am talking about... Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, end crystals. As said, end crystals were added to Minecraft in 1.9. Well, they're in Minecraft since 1.0 and were located on top of end pillars as a tool that generated half of an ender dragon, the only boss in the game at the time. But it wasn't until 1.9 that end crystals became craftable and were added the ability to respawn the ender dragon. This was a major difference since end crystals along with charge creeper both have the power level 6, which is in Minecraft Java edition most damage explosives deal. In the Bedrock edition, however, only more powerful explosions are from Wither, which makes sense since Wither in Bedrock is a f***ing menace. In second place are bad activation in Nether and end dimensions and respawn anchors, item added in 1.16 Nether update, which is used as a respawn point in the Nether. Respawn anchors are usually used along with the end crystals to form an ultimate PvP duo. Unlike end crystal, respawn anchor at its core is a very simple and easy to use item. The way you blow it up is by placing it down, charging it with glowstone, and activating it with any other item. Also, common misconception is that anchors do more damage if you use more glowstone, but that is simply not the case. Like most explosives, they deal most damage the closer victim is to them. The damage taken can be reduced if there are blocks in between anchor and victim, and since they are meant to be used as a respawn point in the Nether, they only work in overworld and end dimension. On the other hand, end crystals are harder to understand, which I believe is why so many people don't even bother with crystal PvP. Damage dealt to victim from an explosion of crystal does not depend on how close the victim is, but rather how close victim's feet are. Before my stupid ass starts explaining the basic strategies of crystal PvP, I need to clarify that I am by no means a pro at crystal/anchor PvP, or am even close to being one. I know how they work and understand tactics, but when two people with the same knowledge of CPvP clash, it all comes down to reaction time, aka reflexes. The faster the reflexes, the better. And I don't mean fast reflexes, I mean you need to place obsidian, activate like 69 crystals and swap your totem in a quarter of a frame just for your opponent to somehow do all this shit, but better. But for starters, I will show you a couple of tactics that are actively used in crystal/anchor PvP community. And the first one and most famous is... it's hit crystal. While being the easiest and first strategy that I stole from this YouTube video, hit crystal is an action of hitting the enemy so that they take upwards knockback. While they are in air, you need to place obsidian and ignite the end crystal, which will result in enemies skyrocketing into air. You need to have hotkeys set up for both obsidian and end crystal in order for this to work more effectively. With enough practice of hotkeying left to right, you can master this technique pretty quick. Recently, I have seen that anchors play more and more important role in crystal PvP. In context of crystal PvP, their primary use is to catch the enemy off guard and use them to deal knockback while also doing a lot of damage. Because of that, anchors are most effectively used when your enemy is running towards you while you place down anchor and activate it. You are of course running away from it while your enemy is still chasing you. By the time you activate anchor, your enemy should be standing right next to it while you are further away from it. This tends to work pretty well with less skilled players, while more skilled players will react faster and use spurs to flee, which will make this strategy pretty difficult to pull off. More useful and more difficult strategy that almost always guarantees that you will pop your enemy's totem is called Rainbow Anchor. So the problem is, I can't do Crystal Anchor. So I asked a bunch of my friends if they can do it, such as, Lan, this guy, Pop-Tart, the G, Poc, Crypto, and so let's wait for responses. Another method I have recently seen is something I like to call anchor mining. No, it's not official name, I just made it up, but what anchor mining is action performed by exploding anchor to use its explosion to get below ground. Once you or your opponent activates anchor to blow up ground, you will enter a whole other phase of Crystal PvP. Where before you had freedom to run on the surface, Crystal hit your opponent and just in general had a pretty plain terrain for PvP, now this turned to a fight for who can get the low ground faster. Once either of fighters blows up a hole with anchor, you need to be the first to pearl to the bottom of the hole. Often players escalate this technique till the hole turns massive. Other techniques will be hard to do since you will often not know where your opponent is, or he or she will be blocking you with obsidian. One thing I had also seen a lot is as soon as people lose their low ground, they start to mine down to reclaim the lower and better position of a fight. In case that happens, try to mine down as well, but if you don't have a pickaxe, or you need to quickly fix your armor, heal up, or etc., I recommend pearling away to do all these things while your opponent starts wasting a ton of crystals. That is all the knowledge that I was planning to share with you today, and for now all the knowledge that I have. Comment down below if you want to see a part 2 and I will dive further into more advanced tactics of a Crystal PvP. Now before I go, I have to warn you that Crystal PvP originates from anarchy community of 2b2t, which is really toxic. And the toxic tradition that Crystal PvP holds is still present to this day. Most people that are really good at Crystal PvP will not admit their defeat and often blame it on some external factor. And yes, I am talking about the Ghost Totem. For those of you that don't understand, the Ghost Totem is a visual glitch of Totem in offhand, which often leads to your defeat. And since that can happen from time to time, kills far too often. It also isn't rare that they will hack you, and I beg you now, please don't argue with them. Trust me, I tried, there is no point in that, you will not change their point of view. So please, for your own good, just ignore them. Because CPvP players can't admit their defeat and they are really determined to win. Which means Crystal PvP community is one of the most tryhard communities there is, and for sure the most tryhard community in Minecraft. And since it is so sweaty, it is really difficult to play with bad ping. So for those of you who are watching from America, I'd suggest servers such as mcpvp.club, and for EU people I'd suggest eu.mcpvp.club. I just find mcpvp.club servers best for 1v1s and free-for-all fights. Anyway, I hope you all will not rage too much as you try to get better at Crystal PvP, and who knows, maybe one day you will fight me. In the meantime, have a great day and I will hopefully see you in my next upload, which means in like 3 years. It's hard to do these vids, man, it takes a really long time, Anyway, till next time, bye!